Well, for a few days, we will see temperatures drop a little bit more tomorrow to more seasonable levels. They'll go up a little bit more into the weekend, and that's when the weather will get a little more unsettled. We'll talk all about that here in the next 3 minutes or so. We'll begin with a look at the radar. Sweeping clear locally. A couple of showers back towards the north and west, north of Lynchburg, up towards Charlottesville. This is some ground cloud around the radar site, but I left it on there because we can use radar not just to tell us where it's raining or not, but also looking at the winds, and you can see how some of that dust and some of those particles out there are moving from north to south, an indication of the north winds that we're seeing here across Hampton roads. The cold front again that brought us some of the showers and isolated thunderstorms yesterday has pushed off the coastline. As we add on the wind streams, we've got those northerly winds that will really kick in later tonight, dropping those humidity levels, making for a very comfortable night as this one area of low pressure exits. Eventually, this high pressure that's located across central portions of Tennessee will slide eastward and will be on the warm side of it. So temperatures will be going up a little bit more as we get into the weekend. But through the rest of the evening, mainly clear skies. Those showers out in western Virginia should remain west of Richmond. So mainly clear through the rest of the evening. And then later tonight, as the humidity drops, temperatures will drop as well down into the mid 60s. Inland spots tomorrow morning, low 70s right along the coastline. And with those northeasterly winds, could produce a few clouds along the coastline. And sometimes in the springtime, when we get those northeast winds, it'll produce a couple of these pop-up showers. I think Futurecast is trying to hit on that. I think it's really overdone. Can't totally rule out an isolated sprinkle, but again, put those odds at less than 5%. Mostly sunny skies through the afternoon, but notice coastal areas might not get out of the 70s. We'll go for an official high of 79 degrees tomorrow. Mainly clear skies tomorrow night, and really more of the same on Friday. Those winds start to shift around a little bit. They won't be quite as strong. So as we get into the day on Friday, I think temperatures will be a few degrees warmer, partly sunny skies, and we'll really see temperatures climbing as we get into the day on Saturday. But a beautiful shot from the Norfolk Botanical Garden. Lots of blue skies out there this afternoon. 83 degrees, still a little bit humid, so it feels like 88. Our normal high this time of year is 79, so well above normal. Northerly winds at 10 miles per hour. There's that humidity at 69%. It's 82 in Manteo, same thing in Melfa, 85 in Gloucester, 87 Newport News, 88 in Richmond and Williamsburg and Petersburg, 85 Suffolk, 87 in Elizabeth City. So for tonight, mainly clear skies, turning comfortable. Northeast winds 5 to 10. We'll see those humidity levels start to drop. Many inland spots down into the 60s later tonight and tomorrow. Mostly sunny, humidity even lower, only 79 degrees. Inland spots low 80s, but again, temperatures much closer to normal for this time of year. Mainly clear and comfortable tomorrow night, down to 67. And then looking ahead towards Friday, mostly sunny, starting to warm up once again. 84 degrees as we start to see a southerly component of the wind at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Notice by Saturday, we're up to 88. Cold front will approach late in the day, so will include a 25% chance of a late day shower or thunderstorm. Temperatures will drop a bit for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday in the low 80s. But a little bit unsettled as moisture lingers into the area, so we'll call for some isolated showers as we start the work week. Regina?